People ask me all the time how I get started. And honestly, it's more complicated to answer than it is to just do. So I'm going to give you the steps here because we're going to start this morning with some information, and we're going to go into some term stuff. And after lunch, we're going to go into wholesaling stuff. Now, I will tell you that wholesaling is the fastest and the easiest way to get a check in this business. I'll show you some of ours while we're at it. So 42 years ago, I was asking the same thing. I'm 42 years now. Actually, I'm in my 43rd year, I think. I started 1982. You figure it out. I lose track. I quit counting the 3,000 houses about 10 or 12 years ago. I don't know how many we do. We still do them today. I have an acquisitionist partner, and we're still doing about 25 a year today. So I don't know. It doesn't matter anymore. But it took me years to learn the business and untold costly mistakes. There's no way to measure how much money I lost because of what I didn't know or because of what I did wrong. And I don't want you to go through that same process. You see, it took me it was 7 years into the business before I started just buying houses and putting tenants in them. I thought that was the way you get rich. That's the way you get old and ugly, buying houses, putting tenants in them unless you do it correctly. I like tenants. No, I don't. I like tenant buyers. Okay. I don't put tenants in houses. I put tenant buyers in houses, all of them, 100% of them. And frankly, there's no reason not to do that. So let's see if you understand why here by the time I get through this morning. I'm not a big buying machine today. I don't even need to buy houses. I honestly just am doing it because I can't stand to let all that money just go and not participate in it. I don't need the money, but I want to stay in the loop of buying houses. I want to stay on the cutting edge. Can't do that unless I'm actually buying houses, which unfortunately so many of your so-called gurus are not doing much of. And I don't work very hard at this. You're going to see with the systems that we got set up, I don't even put in 5 hours a week. So I honestly don't. I don't even know how many hours, but it's very, very little because everything that I do, I delegate, except for making decisions and maybe looking at a couple of reports and okaying a deal as it comes in, or okaying a sales price on the exit. That's pretty much all I do. Now, with one exception, we are rehabbing a house right now. So I will definitely go to it to determine whether I want to buy it since I'm paying cash for it. Since I paid cash for it. And then I've already met the contractor out at the house. We've already agreed on the price after we went back and forth, and I showed him the error of his ways a couple of times. So it's in the works right now. So I do visit a house that we rehab twice, but I do not rehab very many houses. And let's see if you agree with me by the time we get through this morning. Rehabbing houses is the hardest way to make money there is, with the most costly entanglements and the most risk. And I don't make $1 million a year. I don't do 30 deals a year like Jay, and I don't care. But I make in a good high six figures every year, messing around at a really part-time job with a full-time income. And that's where I want you to be, part-time, full-time income. But it started at my kitchen table in 1982, just like it probably started at your kitchen table or will. We don't start doing 25 houses a year, even though I've had many students who actually do more than that their first year. You're going to run the business the way you want to run it and to match your lifestyle. And if you hang around me very long, you're going to learn to do it with very little of your effort and very little of your time. It's the only way you're really going to enjoy it. I have one full-time employee, and actually that's not true. I have a full-time I have a full-time employee, that's Tish, but she's also everything else that I'm involved in, she's involved in. So I can't say I got a full-time employee for the house business. She's actually more like a part-time. And then I got supposedly a full-time partner / acquisitionist, but he don't work full-time at it either. So I don't know how you classify either of those. He don't get paid unless we get paid. Tish gets a check whether we get paid or not. And then I use a lot of outsourcing companies, which I'm going to introduce you here. In fact, I'm going to let you hear from the ones we use. So it won't take you long to learn the real estate. That's the easy part. But the hard part is changing your thinking. People come to us from all walks of life, all age groups, all financial situations, all vocations. And, a lot of them come with baggage, misconceptions of what real estate is all about. They've been listening to conventional wisdom way too long, like you got to go put up a big down payment and go qualify for a loan to buy a house. Baloney. Absolute forbidden on planet Ron. We don't do that. We buy houses without using our money or very little of it, and certainly not guaranteeing any debt and not making promises we can't keep. And if you comply with those three rules, you won't have to worry about anything because you're going to operate risk free. You operate MyRay. We don't go to the bank and suck up to anybody for money, period. Right? And you can do the same thing if you listen. Whoop. Okay. Your credit is irrelevant because you're never going to use it, period. You're not going to use your credit on any kind of deal we do in my world. And we'll need a little bit of money to operate on. And that will be based on how well you're doing and how many deals you're doing and how much you want to invest in marketing, because marketing is your largest business expense in your business. And it don't have to be that much either. Because if you'll let me, I'm going to show you tons of ways you can get deals that don't cost anything or little or nothing. But you will need some money to operate on. You're going to need a VA. You're going to need somebody taking your phone calls and things like that. But it's small money, very, very, very small money. This business that we're in is amazing how small the overhead is compared to how big the checks are when they come in. See, I'm not touching a deal for less than $20,000, and most of them are more than that. And I would suggest you do the same thing, whether it be a wholesale deal or whether it be a terms deal. If I can't get 20 up front, it just takes away all the excitement about doing the deal to me. And frankly, that don't excite me a whole lot. So if my minimum deal is $20,000 and my monthly overhead's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, it's kind of a fair trade-off, isn't it? And if you don't believe that, go buy a restaurant. I've had 6 of them. None of them made any money. Overhead was staggering. Profit was very small on the months that we actually had one. You won't be making promises you can't keep. There's no need to. And I'm going to train you to carefully watch what comes out of your mouth so that they don't get the impression that you are making promises that you can't keep. And they're all closed most of them are closed with an attorney. All terms deals are closed with an attorney, but wholesale deals, title companies can do them. You don't need an attorney involved in them. But if you're going to buy cash, I'd still have an attorney close for you to protect you and to also be a witness in court if somebody ever want to challenge you on anything that you do. And you get the right paperwork and protect yourself, and you can sleep at night knowing you're doing the business correctly. Your risk is minimal. Your opportunity is unlimited. And that's the truth. But of course, you got to focus on your first or your next deal. We have a lot of students coming in on a regular basis, and our goal is to get them to that first deal as fast as we possibly can, because that is the one that's going to cement in your mind that, yes, I can do this, and I can do it here, and I can do it now. Until you get that first check, you're always going to be wondering. And it's very easy for the dream stealers to come take you out, feed you a bunch of baloney, lay all of their problems on and pay all the reasons why it didn't work for them on you, because it didn't work for them because they didn't have a system and they didn't have the proper training, or they just didn't do anything. Every successful investor here or anywhere else started ignorant and skeptical and full of doubt and fear, and they all conquered the same obstacle you face, if any, right now, and they got to keep going. And frankly, I'm one of them. Man, there was nobody more skeptical than me. Broke, clueless, lost, working on a job, and I quit it right after I started, because I made my first check, $3,000 within 3 weeks after going to my first training. And that was a lot of money in 1982 now, a lot of money, okay? Interest rates were through the roof, big, high double-digit rates. Real estate was going down the crapper. Real estate licensees were giving up their license. It was tough times when I started. So I only did 23 deals my first 6 months. And most of them were wholesale. 1 or 2 was rehab. So I got my starting in wholesaling as well, but only after I got a check did I actually believe I could get checks. So if buying and selling houses is what you want to do, there's just a few things that you got to do. So you got to make some choices, and you don't have a choice if you're going to succeed. First, you got to get the proper training from people that are qualified to deliver it to you. Just between you and me, there is nobody better alive that's more qualified than I am, because frankly, most of the people that I grew up with are long gone. But like I said, we got to change your thinking first, and got to change your thinking about real estate, and we got to change your thinking about how much money you can make in real estate, because most people that come to us just don't feel like they deserve to make a lot of money when they spent their life making a salary. You can quickly and easily outdistance your salary with 1 or 2 deals in real estate, and that could be either wholesale or terms or both. We do both. So if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. The most expensive education that you can get is doing on your own without finding out the ins and the outs. Get down to the backside and speak with somebody who actually knows what they're talking about because they have been doing it a long, long, long time. Not somebody just got out of another seminar and now wants to teach. And trust me, you got plenty of those out there. I don't even watch the so-called gurus on the internet anymore because I have to take a Tums every time I turn one of them on.